Perfect. Hey everyone, I'm Sid from IOSG. My colleague Gokhan, he couldn't make it. But yeah, we, IOSG, are a fund. We've been investing in Web3 since 2017. And I'm really honored to be among some top builders here and we had the chance to invest in Theoriq as well very early. So yeah, would love to do a quick round of introductions and what you folks are building towards like the future of AI.
Hi everyone, my name's Nick. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Allora Labs. We're building this self-improving AI network called Allora Network, where different models can learn off of one another and collectively optimizing different shared ML objectives to create this more performant or intelligent source of collective intelligence, sort of like an abstraction layer for intelligence itself.
Hi, I'm Himanshu from Sentient. I'm not Brendan from Masa. And at Sentient, we are building a more powerful reasoning layer in AI models. And we'll do this with contributors who will own a part of the models. And the key technical problem we are solving is how do you own parts of open source software and monetize it? That's what Sentient is building.
Hi, I'm Ron from Theoriq, and we're really focused at the next layer up. So with all these amazing models, we're excited to collaborate with folks like Sentient and Allora, to make amazing agents available, right? So what we see is the future of AI is going to be value that's created by more autonomous agents that can use models and real-time access to data and tools like writing code and running it to do more and more complicated things on our behalf. But we passionately believe the opportunities for the community to come together and to build specialized agents that dynamically collaborate. Just like teams of people work better than individual people, we also believe that everyone's got something to offer to make great agents that are going to come together. And we passionately believe that Web3 is the way to build and enable that future rather than big tech creating one agent to bind us all, right? So we don't want to see OpenAI or Google or any of them control our lives in the AI future. And that's why we're building a protocol to allow for incentives, reputation, payment and composition of agents, leveraging great models and data.
Thank you so much for that, everyone. Maybe a common question for everybody on the panel. While the vision for the future of AI with crypto is quite broad, it's huge, right? This brings about an incentive layer, a trust layer. There's so many things that crypto actually enables for AI. But what do you think from each of your perspectives should be like the starting point? Where do you start? Because each of you have a very different approach towards like crypto x AI. Would love to understand what do you think is a starting point, or where do apps start using it, more apps or dApps or whatever it is?
Yeah, so I think at the system level in thinking about sort of end-to-end decentralized AI, I'm a firm believer that sort of modular, tightly scoped network design is a kind of more optimal paradigm to pursue. I think networks, as they are trying to coordinate different actors to complete different actions. And the second you start introducing a sort of heterogeneous set of actors completing heterogeneous actions, the complexity of that network compounds quite quickly, which means that to support these types of monolithic system designs under the roof of one network means making fairly meaningful compromises to the designs of these systems. So I think first off, in thinking about decentralized AI and what it means to bring it to market in a kind of end-to-end fashion, it's about picking apart the core layers that contribute to a comprehensive decentralized AI stack and building each of those layers in as modular or as composable of a form factor as possible. And then with regard to applications, I think crypto is, at least to date, primarily a financial innovation. It's found most, if not all, of its product market fit in these various financial domains. And I also think AI's use in financial settings has been arguably more production tested or production grade use over the past several decades. And so I see a lot of the immediate value being created in AI, a lot of the immediate applications being brought to market at the intersection of AI and crypto being in these AI-powered or AI-enhanced financial applications. AI-powered DeFi, I think, is where AI really kind of breaks into the crypto fold in a meaningful way.
I might say I certainly think that's right, that we're seeing some of the early applications that we have live, like we've been working with Space and Time, which is a decentralized database, also a data partner, also an IOSG portfolio company. So we're powering their Houston chatbot that helps developers not only answer support questions about how to integrate, but even generates code to simplify integration, but also helps people who aren't database experts query blockchain data, visualize it, even do forecasts, right? So those are like practical use cases. That's been live for over a year. You know, we're now seeing a lot more interest in, indeed, this space of like, how do you enable people in the crypto ecosystem to do trading? But I think a lot of people jump to some version of like, how do I generate automated trading bots? And actually, we see most of the value is like, how can I have specialized agents that include diverse perspectives for me to think about how I might want to trade? What are the things I should consider? What's going on in this Telegram discussion to summarize that? Or what's going on, you know, with this project in the news? Or, you know, analyzing ownership on chain, you know, to give a rich context, you know, so you can have multiple agents looking at a topic that a person might be thinking about investing and give them amazing insight in real time, right, where time is money and they can jump in and make a decision and get some alpha. Then, you know, we're also partnering with intent providers who can take the next step and make it super easy to, having decided what you want to do, pull the trigger and take action. I think over time, we're going to start loosening the reins, and we'll see people starting to do more turnover funds to manage and automate trading. But I think it's true that trading is one of the more exciting use cases, certainly for crypto. But I also think that the crypto rails, blockchain rails for AI agents will quickly cross over into a wide variety of consumer and business use cases. You know, project management, marketing, you know, personal planning, all of these types of use cases as well.
So you want to know what is the place to start for
Yeah,
AI?
where do we start? Yeah.
Well, it's already started as far as AI is concerned. I think what you're saying about, so you're saying where should crypto AI start, right? All of us have different answers because we raise fund for different things, and that's, you start everywhere. All of it is needed. It's a full stack thing, right? So there's a place for trust-free AI where high value assets like models are being manipulated, and you want that to be trust-free if there are things like that, right? You don't want someone to hide a backdoor there. That's one space. There's a space for apps, the new apps, which so far I feel is as the apps in any other space. Crypto has nothing special right now to us there. It's a vertical. Every vertical AI has to be used, and that's where there are so many exciting things on that side. The piece that we are looking at is how crypto can fundamentally be used to enable some pieces in AI. Then the layer we are after is in building a more capable model in terms of its reasoning and planning capabilities, because that requires the kind of data which crypto can really enable getting. So yeah, start everywhere, all of it at the same time, with a lot of capital.
Absolutely. I think you folks, congratulations on the recent raise. I think you're pretty well capitalized to go after the entire stack, so to say.
So we are after building, not single person should not go after the entire stack. That's very important. Yeah. But between all of us, what I meant is that there's already enough skin in the game shown by investors of different type across crypto AI. And that's why you see we are going after all different parts of the stack. And it has to become a full stack solution like that.
Absolutely. No, completely agree. Ron mentioned a few use cases about trading agents. Nick mentioned data-driven DeFi, AI-driven DeFi. What do you think are some use cases, maybe some ideas that you have in your head that builders can build using, let's say, an AI-driven DeFi, or maybe an agent like you mentioned? It's not just about trading the next coin. It's also about changing the way you think. It's like you having a partner with you while trading, right? What do you have any ideas, immediate ideas for builders, the two of you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. It's a pretty wide open space. I'm really interested in AI and crypto's ability and the promise of it to allow us to leverage the market mechanism, which is the greatest coordination mechanism to ever exist across a much broader swath of society. And I think that looks like rampant use of prediction markets across many different things. I think this is both around speculating around one-off events, but also in the adaptation or usage of prediction markets in things like decision-making or governance, things like that. I think we've known this for decades at this point, that voting is a fundamentally suboptimal coordination mechanism. We use it because we're too inefficient of actors to leverage market mechanisms for the types of granular decisions that often go into kind of governance-based organizations. And I think leveraging AI as a far more deflationary or efficient actor in prediction markets makes them viable across a longer tail of scenarios and will allow us to, in this governance setting, leverage prediction markets, futarchy type systems, et cetera, with AI agents being the de facto traders as a kind of major upgrade to how decentralized organizations and decentralized networks are ultimately governed and how decisions are made.
I mean, I think certainly prediction markets is a good use case. I think more broadly that we're excited about making it easy even with no code builders. So people who are just passionate about a topic now have a whole host of great agents they can configure and use to make work well for use cases, right? So tapping into data on Twitter or Farcaster, tapping into data in Discord, tapping into on-chain data to analyze holdings and trends, right? This is useful. Sure, it's good in trading, but it's also good in all kinds of other cases, right? Maybe for product management and planning, maybe it's good for marketing, maybe it's good for business development, right? So we think there'll be 1,000 flowers blooming of people that are experts in a topic saying, hey, I can now create agents that capture and automate what's special to me in my workflow, and now I can offer it out there in the market, and others can take advantage. So we're super excited about empowering many people to amplify what they know with agents.
Can I just quickly
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
prediction, I'm really a big fan of prediction market and the way they become an information extraction machine, right? But one question for you, Nick. Sorry, can I jump in for?
Absolutely, yeah.
If you make it automated, driven by agents, doesn't it take the whole fun and the subjectivity part out of it? Like now it's an algo running the prediction market. Just curious about it because I'm really passionate about this prediction market. It's very nice.
I think AI can make like a developed perspective make decisions of similar levels of fidelity as humans do. I think subjectivity is sort of unrelated to the decisions that are going into an AI's decision, and it's more about the overhead that goes into developing that perspective, analyzing all of the possible variables at play, and then executing some like market-directed interaction in a more efficient way. You know.
I think there's also an interesting role for AI to be the adjudicator in prediction markets, right? That in a sense, I think one of the biggest complaints about prediction markets is, maybe humans who put their finger on the scale and resolve questions in a way that people don't like. Whereas, when you have an AI agent, it's a more objective umpire. And so I think that's actually, AI as judge may be even more interesting than AI as player.
Yeah. And I think the big unlock with AI in prediction markets is that because AI can operate in such a more deflationary fashion than humans or like more classical compute, I think it will drive more liquidity, it will drive more volume, liquidity probably as a result of volume, which it will drive more of the incentives for creating these robust kind of arbitration type systems as well.
I think you'll make more money, but it may become less fun. That's what I must say.
Yeah. But it's a better world in general, The prediction markets for everything is the optimal end state of society.
Also, just to add to that, I don't see why we can't have two markets. One, the actual human betting plus the AI market and see how it goes, right?
Well, how do you stop a human using an AI to put their bet in?
Wow. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've spoken about AI, crypto, the stack which seems most usable, like the prediction markets, AI, X, DeFi. I think we could start with you, Himanshu, where you're looking at a deeper value-centric approach of crypto X AI, where like all of us definitely do, but you're talking about ownership, you're talking about verifiability. When do people start caring about this? Are we getting ready for some black swan event where people start believing in, I need self-custody, I need ownership of my data, I need ownership of my models?
No. So people care about it when it's really worth a lot. So for instance, I care about whatever happened with the money that came out of my research. And I'm sure the authors of BERT cared about the money that got made out of OpenAI. We're not talking about necessarily private data or something. I'm talking about substantial contributions, which were monetized and became hundreds of millions of dollars their share, right? The authors of Transformer and even before that, right? And it's okay, there's a reputation-based ecosystem and you can try to derive value in some different ways, but it's no longer efficient. No longer efficient when all the kids in the world want to do AI, right? I don't know how many 14-year-olds will have seen Solidity, but all of them have seen Python, right? Maybe large fraction of it. And they would, at least in some countries, all of them have. That's where I'm talking about really high value asset. I'm not talking about play that, oh, my tweet is worth maybe, for some people, tweet is worth a lot. Or someone mined my tweet. That's okay, man. I'm talking about that this is my 5 years of work, came out of a lot of thinking, a lot of something, and then it became a part of something really big, and I have no choice but to put it on my CV and show it to them and get a job. And I think that system is breaking even at the top. So that's one part of this ownership. And the other part of the ownership is what crypto has already been doing. It's already great at that. Everyone wants a piece of OpenAI, NVIDIA, and they want a piece of investment in great AI, and that's another parallel thing. I think we should not mix these two things. They are two different tracks going on. So when we speak about community build AI and ownership in that, we are talking about very high value contributions.
Yeah, I may comment. I think it's a power law, right? So you have people that are creating the most value, right? Maybe those are people that are coming up, and soon AIs themselves who are coming up with more and more valuable kind of core models. But there's this distribution of everyone has a lot to offer, and with crypto incentives and ability to measure, we can make it so everyone can start to monetize and benefit from their expertise by teaching it to agents and making it available to the broader community, right? And I think that's exciting, right? A lot of people rightly say, hey, you don't need as many people. The AI is going to automate more, so it's easier to democratize it. So how are we going to actually operationalize that? How do we make it so people can, have a living wage by taking their knowledge and making great agents that are narrow, or maybe build a small business and they don't need to go out and raise capital because they can just start monetizing, right? So I think at all points on the distribution of value creation, people can really be empowered to create AI that's going to be useful and helpful.
Just one quick line on that. One mental model is think of creator economy and extending it to AI builders. That's another mental model one can have.
Fair.
Yeah, sure. I think they covered most of the stuff pretty well there. I think from my perspective, almost more than anything, blockchains, you could say distributed consensus more specifically, is a means of turning potentially nebulous resources into more tangible digital commodities. I think about Bitcoin often when I think about this, and it being a commoditized power. With Bitcoin now, there is the shortest path possible from having some access to excess power and capturing value from it. What blockchains, what distributed consensus enables is it enables a direct participation and a direct access for net market participants to generate and capture value from their contributions, whether that's intelligence, whether that's compute, whether that's innovations in model design, whatever it is. I think that is the real unlock of distributed consensus of blockchains, and where we start to see these I guess, step function level upgrades to market efficiency across a much broader set of domains.
Thank you so much for that. I think we have time for maybe a couple of questions. So one question would be, what do you think are some of the most underrated use cases of AI and Web3? Maybe some non-sexy use cases. For us, when we talk about crypto initially, payments were a big thing. Now they're suddenly non-sexy, right? I think it's one of the best use cases of crypto, honestly. So do you see any use cases of crypto enabling AI or AI enabling crypto use cases, like apart from prediction markets that you folks mentioned?
Prediction markets is awfully sexy though. So it's kind of it's a tough one. Like, what's your most boring use case? I mean, there's a lot of mundane utility from AI. I think actually, maybe on the side of crypto just enabling AI that's useful for people, like when people want to do marketing and when they want to do research before engaging in a business development discussion, when they want to organize an internal team and keep things on track and follow up, when they want to have help, in software development and auditing contracts, right? Those things may not be or like a really common one is this developer use case of like, hey, I just want to know how I can quickly take this third-party product, assess it, know how I might integrate it with my product, right? These are really high value places where AI can dramatically lower the bar because, it's already, AI models are superhuman in their ability to digest information and apply it, right? And so these are cases where agents can come in and immediately much improve productivity of teams, right? So I think those are probably some of the kinds of mundane but high value use cases that jump to mind.
Ron covered all the boring use cases.
All the boring use cases. Everything else is awesome. Yeah. I think just closing it out with a really high-level question. So just imagine all of you are in that space age picture that we keep seeing on Twitter, where we have flying cars, we have maybe floating buildings. I don't know. What do you think is a vision for like crypto X AI? Like what value system do you think we should keep in as like a crypto plus AI kind of future?
I think today we still see AI as a private good. I think this happened in the early days of the internet as well, when we had these kind of private intranets and centralized corporations tried to seize these things. And it took, there were some operational and tactical pieces that moved the internet into being a public utility, but I do think there were some philosophical changes that had to happen in society to start seeing internet as a public utility for the masses, and that being its sort of optimal instantiation. And I think a similar kind of mindset shift is going to be required to realize a lot of the potential of crypto and AI is shifting from seeing AI as largely a private good, which has been our primary exposure to AI to date, to that of a public utility, the same way the internet is. This is sort of the world's intelligence in a sense, and it's paramount for that to be instantiated as a sort of public utility. And if we see it like that, if we start to bring some of these different coordination networks online that contribute to the different layers of the stack, facilitating and the creation of different functions of AI, I think that's sort of the optimal end state, is AI being seen and operated in a way similar to the internet versus the private good instantiation it's been operated through today.
Depends on how far you go in the future. I really believe in just 5 years, not too far in the future, it would really enter your life in a way where it will be amazing, but you won't see it on the surface, but it will be everywhere. Like for example, I have a younger kid and her approach to internet is very different from mine. The natural interface is obviously speech for her, right? It's very common for her to use a speech to search, right? And this is such a remarkable thing, and we have internalized it. And now similarly, these thousands of agents that Ron is building and that are coming up, right? Those agents will enter every part of your action space. And the role of crypto hopefully will be hidden. It won't be in your face in that. It will be about data collection. It will be very complex ownership of your contributions and those kind of things. Hopefully it will be hidden because AI is moving really fast. And crypto can help accelerate it, and it can get to the right kind of intelligence, and it can allow people to have some skin in that game. But AI is not necessarily waiting for things to come from crypto right now. We believe we really can make a change, but it's not waiting, and it's going to happen anyway. It will enter your life in all sort of ways, and you won't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Himanshu rightly articulated some of the amazing upside in that future, and I think Nick is quite right that we have to be really mindful of centralization risk, right? So if we do, we in this community can prevent monopolists, billionaires from controlling the future with AI. But there's another side, which is we also have to have community governance around how to do things responsibly. So we don't create incentives so that the decentralized community, that bad actors take control. We don't get power-seeking AI. We don't have it so, go from spam to crime to domination efforts, right? Like there's lots of things that can go wrong in a decentralized network too. And so we just as much have to put effort collectively to say, how do we govern that and create the right incentives so the system converges on that positive outcome Himanshu talked about, and not one where cyber criminals are benefiting from anarchy with agents that are increasingly powerful.
Absolutely. I think that's it for today's panel. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure moderating this. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for your time. Yes.